You are 93 years old now. After having lived a more or less full life, your time has come. You shut your eyes and feel your spirit leaving your body. You cast one last lingering look at everything you're leaving behind. And in this moment, you do not care about how shiny your car looks, or how many stories your house is, or whether your triceps still have a visible pump. You look into the faces of the ones around your deathbed, your spouse, your children, your children's children. And then you close your eyes forever and everything goes dark. When you can see again, you realize you have no body, and now you are light as a feather. You hear a voice from behind the clouds. It asks, "How many years did you live on Earth?" And you smile and say, 93 long years. Did it feel like it was enough? The voice asks you. You pause, and in the silence of the great cosmic hush, you can hear the planets dance on their orbits. You think about how the first 3 years of your life you had no clue what the fuck was even going on. When you started to gain some sentience and point to the mirror and call yourself you had to be sent away to school. That life with all its drama and anxiety and bullying and thrill and chatter would take away another 12 years of your life. When you were out of school, you needed college, another 3 years, and then another 2 in university, and then a PhD for the next 5 years, then a job for the next 30 years or so. You start to scratch your head. What the hell? Where did all the time go? You ask. And in this moment, you remember all of the time you spent beating yourself up, fighting with others, picking petty quarrels with girlfriends who did not pick your calls or respond to messages, obsessing over the digits in your bank account, losing sleep over exams, always thinking about the past or the future. Do you really think it has been 93 years? The voice asks again. You shrug, and then your shoulders drop. I'll show you the math. You've been physically here for 93 years, which you have barely been present in your own life, barely been conscious of being alive, of breathing in and out and absorbing all of the life around you. You were aware of life for about 1/100th of the first 3 years, although you will have no memory of it now. You spoke your own language, but they erased it out of your system so they could override you with their own code, their own program, their language, so you could be easier to control, simpler to handle. Then you were caught in a haze. You were thinking too much and living too little. You were more worried about how people would see you than whether you were seeing what was right before your own eyes. You were in the present sporadically, from time to time, over the next 90 years. You were there for about, 3,840 minutes and 17 seconds. That is roughly about 64 hours, I'd say. Let me give you a brief recap of some of these moments. You remember when you boarded your first flight and it was taken off? When you saw the first snow-capped peak of your life? Once when you were chasing a butterfly with a glass jar in your hands? Then when your first dog died and you wanted to disappear with her? Sometimes when you were meditating? A few times when you were having sex? Quite strongly when you accidentally cut your finger or hurt your ankle while playing soccer? Sometimes when you were getting wet in the rain? That one time when you looked into the eyes of a very pretty woman on the train? When you peered into the eyes of your newborn kid? When you were still writing your poems? When you were smiling at strangers in the streets? when you were learning to bake, sometimes when you were running. Oh, and this one time when you slipped and fell into a large septic tank. Then for a few minutes when you fractured your elbow. And these last few seconds before your contract expired and we called you back in earlier today, that is. And that's about it. So overall, adding all of the bits and pieces, I would say you lived roughly about 72 hours or so, which is 3 days in Earth time, I guess. Huh. The voice sighs. Not bad. You did marginally better than most of your species. Those moments, you see, were glitches in the Matrix. Those were the moments when you had the chance to redeem yourself and escape. But you chose to slip back into the luxurious, smothering blanket of mindless slumber, this drowsy, calming vacuum of spiritual stupor. You chose what everyone else chose. You chose money. You chose reputation. You chose your job over your family. You chose numbness over newness and stagnation over adventure. Well, you wanted the world on your fingertips, and that is exactly what you got. Only the world, and only on your fingertips. Statistically speaking, just so you know, it was a lot better before you had any electronic gadgets. And then you got your first phone, and you had to make videos and click photos so you could live through them later, but later never came, and you never got the chance to even look back on them. And eventually you ran out of storage, and you had to delete everything from earlier. So you were never really even there. Where was I all this while then? You asked the voice. All you hear is the resounding laughter. The clouds close in, and it starts to grow dark again. Wait, can I please have another shot? You plead. That is something only you humans say, whether you're 33 or 93. You greedy bastards, always wanting more. Please, I promise I will do better this time. I promise I won't get waylaid. I just miss being alive. And before the pitch blackness of the dark night consumes everything, the voice responds, Sorry mate, you were 1 in 400 quadrillion. That is 4,000 millions. And that was all the time you had been allotted in your contract.